It is, as promised, the line call. And also, as promised, our good buddy Johnnie Carmichael from DUPR joins us. We take the podcast international for the first time because Johnny's with us from England, where he now resides. And Johnny, we were just chatting before we fired this up. Pickleball is really taking hold over there in Europe too, huh?
Yeah, no, it's great to see. I think America really started the pickleball wave, and we're now seeing, it's catching on in the rest of the world. So Europe may be a little bit further behind now. Asia's really going crazy with the pickleball as well. So it's truly a global sport right now.
We were also just chatting. It's incredible. You were actually here with us at Performance in Richmond in 2024. That's really where this relationship started, with the hosting of the DUPR Virginia Super Regional in 2024, and then we added the broadcast component to it and brought in Jacob Smith and his phenomenal team and all those things, and it's just like everything else, we've kind of merged together and the rocket keeps on flying, and that's why we wanted to have you in with us today, because big things happening at DUPR. This has been a long time coming. I know for you guys, your development team's been working on this, and you have rolled out DUPR Plus. We, of course, are walking in lockstep with you on that rollout, but wanted to have you on to just fill in players as to what is DUPR Plus, what they can expect from it, and how it's going to benefit their pickleball journey.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, DUPR Plus is really what we consider to be the upgraded version of the current DUPR experience for players. We've kind of been building this out for a while, and we're excited to be able to provide a lot more value for players, especially the more serious players who are looking to find out a lot more about their pickleball journey. So right now, kind of what DUPR Plus looks like is, I say, we do have an ad-free experience on the platform. We have actually worked with a lot of our partners. A few brands such as Yola, Vulcan, a few more being announced as well here to provide discounts for these players. And yeah, down the road, we're really looking to build this out. I say this is what we're kind of calling version 1.0. Down the road, there's so many things we're looking to implement here, whether that's advanced analytics. We want to go down the head-to-head route. If I can look up how many times I've played against John, what those scores were, really trying to build out so we can provide a lot more data analytics for our players down the road.
And in terms of the tournament aspect and how this DUPR Plus will sort of integrate with the tournament scene, what will that look like for players?
Yeah, no, so we're working with a lot of our partners as well. So a couple that we have as well. So Minor League Pickleball and DUPR Collegiate. There will be DUPR Plus required to take part in these events as well there down the road. And yeah, our goal really is to really separate, have that added ability and advantages for our more hardcore users out there that really want to take their pickleball to the next level.
And that's really where the announcement portion of this comes in for our performance listeners and viewers of the Stack podcast, is that we are also going to make our performance production tournaments DUPR Plus required, but before people are like, oh, wait, required, we are also going to provide DUPR Plus as part of our membership package. That's the big announcement. I didn't wait for the drum roll there, but we are going to integrate all of our memberships, so just so our members know, they're really not going to have to do anything at all. They're going to have DUPR Plus as a part of being a member at Performance. That's kind of the model, Johnny, where you guys want to take it, right, with your partner clubs and your partners in general, where it becomes that full-scale integration. It sounds complex, but it's really not. We're already in the process of adding that to our memberships now, and our members are going to be able to experience that within the next week or so.
Yeah, no, and as I say, our goal here really is to be working with facilities such as yourself, where the member experience, it should very much be that what they're going to notice there is that, hey, they are DUPR Plus premium members there, and going forwards, they're not going to have to do anything on their end. We've seen, as I say, we've kind of been a little bit shocked too. We've even had some HOAs looking at coming to DUPR Plus as well, trying to provide that experience for the HOA communities as well. So yeah, it's an exciting time.
I know, Johnny, with your affiliation with DUPR, of course, you get all the same questions that we get in terms of my rating is this, it went to that, what's the algorithm going to be like? And I always tell people, listen, this is happening very quickly, but trust me, there are a lot of very smart people working on this and getting there. There's some other changes coming to DUPR soon in terms of the validity of match scores, the sanctity of the ratings, all those things. I don't want to pin you down on timelines on that stuff because I know it's an active situation. But another reason I wanted to have you on with us is for folks and our listeners and members to hear straight from DUPR, hey, we know, this is where it's going, and it will continue to get better and better and better.
And I'm personally gonna love this answer because I answer a lot of questions as a DUPR coach, and so excited to hear what you have to say on that.
Yeah, no, and as you kind of touched on there as well, it's we've got a lot of smart people there. We do have a rating roadmap there. Unfortunately, it's not quite as easy as, hey, we want to implement this right now. This is going to go into effect. There has to be a little bit more thought behind it there. But yeah, I say kind of take you through that timeline as well. And I was even discussing with one of my employees yesterday, we've only even had reliability score out for around a year now. So it was only over a year ago that, players were getting ratings without really knowing what it meant. So we are really, we know the direction we want to be taking with the rating, with the algorithm. I say we have over 100 API partners now as well. So with us going that route of really focusing just on the rating and not the tournament software side of things, it's allowed us to collect a lot more match data. And as I say, in any rating system, you need the match data to be able to provide the accurate ratings. I always give the analogy for the Americans in the NFL as well is, if you were to judge Patrick Mahomes just off his Super Bowl performance and you gave him a rating, it would look very different to the rating you'd give him if you had the match data of the past 5 seasons that he's been representing the Chiefs. So, and that's the exact same in pickleball. If we have the match data from one match, one day, we can give you a rating based on that, but that doesn't give the overall picture of you as a player. So now that we've been able to collect that more match data, we've really been able to refine on our end what the algorithm looks like. We can kind of look at these models and say, hey, was it a problem with the algorithm or was it a problem with a lack of match data? So now we're really being able to kind of focus more on making those ratings as accurate as possible. And yeah, going forward, that there is going to be a couple of changes to the rating coming up here soon. We're excited for it. I know, again, a lot of hard work goes on behind the scenes. So, and what that's going to kind of look like there is that, currently the algorithm is win, you definitely go up, lose, you definitely go down. And, we get this feedback a lot, and the classic example, hey, if I lose to Ben Johns 11-9, I should be rewarded for that. and we agree, right? If you play Ben Johns and you lose 11-9, from our standpoint, that kind of tells us, hey, they are closer to that level of 7.4, I believe, in Ben Johns' case, than, where they currently stand. And at the same time, it tells us a little bit more data about Ben Johns. That, hey, he's a 7.4, but he's only just winning 11-9 against the 3-0. That, so that would have that impact on his rating as well, where he'd go down. In case, where with let's say someone like Ben Johnson, this example where all PPA matches are recorded, there's such great match data for him. the algorithm will know, hey, he's been performing at this 7-4 level for the last however many years. This one game is not defining his rating.
Right.
So that's where you're kind of seeing small adjustments, but no, it's definitely a step in the right direction for us and going where we want to go with the algorithm.
Look at you, Johnny, shaping your answers, cultivating them to the American audience. I really appreciate
good
that.
Good example there.
No, Johnnie Carmichael's with us from DUPR. A couple more for you, buddy. I know that with the time change, it's already into the evening there as we record this in the afternoon here in Richmond, Virginia. But I know you and I have had these conversations about some other things that you might not have direct timeline on, but it is in the works. And that is also something that I get talked to about a lot is, will matches, kind of like a golf handicap, ever fall off after a course of time? My rating's getting dragged down because I used to play with my wife. And yes, I am talking about myself right now, from 3 years ago. Eventually those matches, good or bad, will expire because maybe you were a 4-3 3 years ago and now you're a 4-8 or vice versa, whatever the case may be. I know that's also in the works, but another thing that people get frustrated with is anytime there's a system, someone will try to game that system. And I know you guys are hard at work trying to find clone accounts and people creating false matches. And that's never probably going to be a perfect science, but you do have some things in the works to try to eradicate that, correct?
Yep, and that's something we want to kind of provide down the road as well. I say for facilities like yourself, if someone comes in from out of town, you want to know, hey, where's the right place to place them? Where should they be amongst our membership? And we're only going to be able to provide that if someone has one account in that situation. So yes, account verification is something that we are trying to build out down the road here. And yeah, as you said, it's important. It's important for us to have everyone's data in one place. We build the system for the majority, for the community there, and we can say, for the most part, 99% of people on DUPR are doing things the right way. So it is the 1% there, but it's something that is important to crack down on. And I always say to people too, it's not always malicious either. It can
Right.
be just a case of someone signed up with a Yahoo account for one account or for one tournament and a Gmail for another tournament, and they're just not really aware that these results are living in two places.
That's a good question. I think too, one of the questions I get the most is, how do I get my DUPR up? Is it frequency and variety of play? Are those the main factors sort of in your algorithm in mind for players to try to get that DUPR up?
Yeah, I think the most common one, and I even got it this last week, a great example is a lot of players, and the example for last week is, hey, I got a gold medal in my tournament, but my DUPR went down. How did this happen? And I sat down with him, took a look on the app, and had to kind of explain how it all worked. So again, went through his profile in this situation. The player was, I'll keep the numbers round, say a 4-5, and he was playing majority against players that were rated 4-0. So when he was what happened was, in the group stage, they'd actually lost the match. Which negatively impacted his rating. I believe it was an 11-2, 11-3 loss against the 4-0s. So that's where he took that heavy drop. Then, throughout the rest of the group play and then the knockout stages, he was then beating those 4-0s by a close score. So that's a case there where, the match data we were getting was saying, hey, as a 4-5, you should be beating these 4-0s. That's why you're not getting that much credit for these wins. And, you shouldn't have, in our eyes, you shouldn't have lost the match in the group play at this level, So that is why he effectively got a gold medal, but went down in DUPR.
Yeah.
Well, and we're also seeing, Johnny, now where, league data is going in along with tournament data. Sometimes we'll have dedicated DUPR session data that goes in. There's just a lot more data that goes in, so there's a lot more variance in your score. It's good and bad, right? Like if you love where your score is, you're not going to be able to sit on it as much as you used to be able to. But there's also a lot more opportunity to positively affect your score.
Yeah, no, and as they say, going back to what you guys said as well about, again, the recency of the matches does play a part in the weighting of the rating as well there. So, where you said, John, you played with your wife, you may have taken a few beatings, but going forwards.
Took a bunch of beatings, Johnny, before and after the
match. So yeah, now, let's say that was a year and a half ago. The algorithm now is going to be much more reactive to the matches that you're playing today, and that will kind of be weighted much heavier than those matches from a year and a half ago. So while they are still on your profile, the actual rating fluctuations are changing more, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Johnny, we can't tell you again how much we appreciate the relationship that we've formed with you personally, but DUPR, I've told a lot of people this privately, but as we have been building our own brand and building it out, we made the conscious choice, we being me primarily, you had to kind of identify who you felt were going to be the leaders in the industry going forward and sift through that a little bit. And there was risk in selecting those partners, but we made the choice a couple of years ago. We're going to ride with DUPR, we're going to ride with Yola, and we're going to ride with the PPA. And that has worked out wonderfully for us, so we wanted to thank you for that. We're just really excited for you guys. Again, I get to talk with you guys personally, so I see like the joy that you guys take as it continues to evolve. So congratulations on DUPR Plus. I know there's no off days in your world right now. We appreciate you taking some time for us, buddy, and anything we can do to help, let us know.
Yeah, no, thank you both for having me. And yeah, no, I say the pickleball journey it's a crazy one right now, so it's exciting to be part of it.